Coming up next, from San Fran Freak Show, the Savage Nation. From Talk 910 KNEW.
I'm Kim Commando. You can keep up with all things digital Monday through Friday in the noon hour with My Digital Minute on Talk 910 KNEW.
Warning. The Michael Savage Show contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
Now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation. Here is Michael Savage.
A 2004 CIA report detailing abusive interrogation techniques, including torture against prisoners in U.S. custody.
Associated Press is now reporting United States interrogators threatened to kill the children of 9/11 suspect Khalid Sheikh Mohammed.
In another case, an interrogator allegedly tried to convince a suspect that his mother would be sexually assaulted in front of him.
Are you listening to the hysterical enemies of America? That would include the three talking heads you just heard. These are people who are on the other side. They're fighting for the other team. They have taken the side of al-Qaeda. They may as well have, if we were in the Revolutionary War, as they say, turncoat, red coat. In World War II, they could have happily put on the uniform of the enemy. I've never seen anything like this. I've always known they hated America. I've always known they were against America. I've always known that they hated the police. I've always known they've hated the military. I've always known they've hated the flag. I've always known they've hated the family. But I've never seen anything quite like this, which is why I'm not going to talk about it. It is obvious to me that we have an administration that is on the other side, an administration that has taken the side of al-Qaeda itself. Don't tell me that Obama doesn't know anything about this. Attorney General Holder was appointed by him. He was told what to do. This is the same Attorney General Holder who released the Puerto Rican terrorists. This is the same Attorney General Holder who released Mark Rich. This is the same Attorney General Holder who has been dying to do this from the day he took office. The radical far left is now on the side of the enemy. That's my opinion. Now, whether we can pull out of this is another story. I don't know. We have no Republican Party to fight for the American people. There is no opposition party. We've never been here before. In the past, there's always been two parties. We have one party and the people. There's an invisible Republican Party. You know, you go to England and you see the labor socialist government of Gordon Brown, how inept, how corrupt. And you see that there's a conservative party in the wings with a literate head of the conservative party who gives speeches. Name the head of the Republican Party in America. Name one person in the Republican Party who will get up and say one word that you feel confident in, that someone who speaks for America. That's why I don't want to talk about it. Instead, I want to talk about San Francisco's economy and the hotels and the tourist industry being destroyed by liberalism here. I want to give you a microcosm. Two high-end San Francisco hotels defaulted on large loans last month. One was the 97-year-old Stanford Court on Nob Hill, defaulted on an $89 million loan. 3 weeks later, at the end of July, the Four Seasons Hotel, built on Market Street in 01, withheld payment on $90 million it owned. Okay, so that's two hotels in San Francisco defaulting on large loans last month. Now you say, well, why? You could say high unemployment. You could say job insecurity. You could say that that's part of it, and I would agree with you. But that's not the whole reason. People are still traveling somewhere, and they're traveling to places, and they're traveling to cities. But why are they increasingly not coming to San Francisco is the question. I think you can trace it directly to the mayor, Gavin Newsom, and his team of communist buddies called supervisors who are anti-business, anti-tourism, anti-family, anti-man, for that matter. I've never seen anything like this. Sure, the hotels themselves may have some responsibility, but I'd like to ask you, the listeners, if you agree with some who are saying that they're not coming here because of the changing makeup of the city, because of the liberalism of the city, because of the rudeness of the people in the city, because of the fact that you can hardly find signs in English, that you can hardly find anyone in a hotel to talk to you in English, that the climate, in essence, the multicultural climate that is so welcoming to illegal aliens, particularly illegal alien drug dealers, is so unwelcoming to tourists. So I'd like to talk about the positive end of this. If you could reach any twosome Newsome, the gadfly mayor, if you could reach any of the anti-family, anti-American supervisors who have stolen the city's pride, what would you say to them in order for you to come back to this city? And or what is your last experience in visiting San Francisco been? The phone number is 1-800-449-8255. Or if you care to talk about the CIA, go ahead. Go ahead. See if I care. I'll take calls on that as well. Let us see. I'll read you some emails from my Facebook account. Nah, I don't want to bother. They're very good. I can't read anything anymore. I get tongue-tied if I read anybody else's work, even a letter, an email, an article. I can't do it. You know, this is an extemporaneous medium. Let me tell you something about talk radio. It's an extemporaneous medium, and I realize what's been happening to me lately. Because I am so enmeshed in struggling to get my name off the list in England, where I don't belong. After all, they released the Lockerbie bomber, a known murderer who killed 260 people. A known murderer. They released him for compassionate reasons, and the very same illegitimate liberal government of the United Kingdom, and to make no mistake about it, I don't care what Gordon Brown said, they even admitted that they consulted with Eric Holder, okay, when they released the Lockerbie bomber. Believe me, they talk to each other. They won't take my name off the list. So what I'm saying is because I have been reading these articles about my dilemma, and because I have been trying to convince you to buy Banned in Britain, I'm getting a little tongue-tied and a little exhausted, and I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to read anything anymore. No articles, no emails, no newspapers. It's strictly an extemporaneous medium, and that's what I'm going to use from now on. So that's where we're going to go from here for now. Maybe it will change in the future, but that's it. So we've got a hotel industry that's ailing. We've got a tourist industry that's ailing. They're blaming it on the economy, which is partly true. I'm blaming it on the troubled fact that we have the most far-left radical government in the history of San Francisco driving tourists away and driving people out of the city with their hostile attitudes. San Francisco, Scott, welcome to the program.
Hey, Mike. I can't speak, about the traveling in particular, but, I'm a San Francisco resident. And, I walked out of my house the other day to notice that all the parking meters have now been changed to 9 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the morning. There's no notices put out of this.
Don't you understand? Any twosome Newsome needs to raise hundreds of millions of dollars more to give to the illegal aliens and the bums. So the best way to do it is to make workers like you get up earlier and put it in his pocket so he can give it to the bums and the illegal aliens.
And then, you speak with the meter people. Well, they say, if you have a problem with park in the parking garages. But then the city doesn't also tell you that it owns 75% of the parking garages. So, they say...
Did you know that most downtown hotels charge about $40 a night for parking? Did you know that?
Oh, most definitely. I'm in the hospitality industry, and, I have a business here in the city. And outside of my business, from the hours of 7 to 9 in the morning and from 3 to 7, I can't even park. So I
hear you, but Scott, let me ask you something. How many car windows are broken open every morning by the wonderful residents of San Francisco who are given so many services by the mayor and the supervisors, the wonderful people of the streets who go around breaking windows and stealing car radios and things inside cars? Everywhere I walk, I see shattered glass.
I pay $6,000 a month for my apartment, and I had my car stolen twice in front of my $6,000 apartment building. So
that's terrible.
It doesn't matter what neighborhood, like you just said.
I want somebody, I hear you, Scott, and I want somebody from San Francisco to call this show and tell me, someone in the hotel business, I want you to lay out for the people how many different taxes have been put onto hotels by the anti-business, far-left liberal regime of Gavin Newsom. How many taxes are there on a hotel room in San Francisco? Okay? Chicago, Tim, you're up on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Dr. Savage. Went on to your beautiful city of San Francisco for my honeymoon several years ago. Would hesitate to go back. I thought the homeless were just terribly aggressive over there. Berated you if you dealt them.
That's right. That's right. They insult your wife. They insult you. The cops do nothing because they've been told that these are the sacred cows of the city with more rights than the taxpayer. And who did it? The supervisors, the communist supervisors of the city. Thank you for the call. I'm going to let it all hang out right now. The people who are calling this show from around America have money and they travel. Have money, will travel. And many of them love this city, but they won't come back until there's a change of regime in this city, until the Al-Qaeda members inside City Hall are driven out. They're the Al-Qaeda against business. They hate capitalism and they hate business. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? But there's more to it than that. And let me explain it to you. There's no art in this city. Now you say, why, that can't be. They pride themselves on their arts and entertainment. Can you name anything in this city that is worthy of an international recognition? Name one arts performance in this city that's on the level of an international arts performance, and you won't find it. It is a strictly, it is a very provincial city, very much as it has always been, very charming. It's why I moved here. The weather is the best in the country. The fog rolling in over the hills is astonishing. But the radical left-wing Al-Qaeda members who have taken over City Hall have long hated business, have long hated tourists, have long hated real progress,